Hey guys, welcome to the Color Me Mike podcast. So just a quick disclaimer up here at the top. Anything said during this podcast only reflects on me and or the guest. Sonity has nothing to do at all with anything that's being said here. Sonity is just a cool boba milk tea shop in Fremont, California that is kind enough to let us record the podcast here at their shop and kind enough to hook us up with some boba milk tea drinks. So everybody just chill and enjoy the episode. Ideally, it's good to be like this far away. Have you done podcasts before?
Never. This is my first one.
Really?
Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
So what I asked you, like, what went through your mind? Were you a little bit like, I'm not sure if I want to do it, or
No, I'm
just
always
on board right away?
No, yeah, I'm always down to try stuff. I'm always down to try anything. I really don't.
You hear that, folks? He's down for anything. There you go.
Okay, man.
He'll do anything once. Right?
Yeah, I'll do anything once. I think. I don't know.
Do you listen to podcasts?
I mean, depends on the pod. Like Joe Rogan, depending on the guests. I used to watch Kevin Smith's podcast just because
Which one?
I think it was like Fat Man Beyond.
Oh, you're talking about Fat Man on Batman?
Yeah, because I'm a big superhero nerd.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah, I was like, so.
Are you? So, I mean, how much of a nerd are you? Did you read comics, or are you just more into the movies and the cartoons?
I know comics, like the storylines and stuff. I've read like descriptions. I am more in like the movie and like TV show side, but yeah, I just love it. Like anything superhero, I'm down.
So you watch all the Marvel stuff?
Oh yeah.
How do you feel about the DC stuff?
I still like it. Depends. Like some of them are really good. Like that new Suicide Squad movie. I love that one.
Is it out already?
Yeah, it was out. Like it came out in like August.
Oh wow, I completely missed it. Damn.
Oh dude, it was so good. That was beautiful.
Because the first one was garbage.
The first one was ass.
Yeah, it was complete garbage.
Just garbage.
It's like they couldn't say that they're the bad guys enough in that. Right?
Yeah.
In case you forget, we're the bad guys.
Yeah, the dialogue was awful. I was like, I wrote a better script in my like community college screenwriting class. I don't know what they were doing, but.
So the second one's much better.
Second one's like amazing. Like it was so fun, but like kind of deep and like emotional at the same time. It was great.
It seems like that's what the first one was supposed to be. It had that promise when you saw that trailer.
Yeah.
And they had Queen playing Bohemian Rhapsody, right? And I was like, oh, wow, this looks amazing.
Yeah, the first trailer was beautiful.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just went down the drain.
Yeah, no, it was bad. How did you feel about what's it called? The Wonder Woman 1984.
I haven't watched that one yet. I don't have HBO Max. Yeah, since it didn't come out in theaters. Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I heard it was bad. Like I saw some of the plot points, and I was like, this doesn't seem too good.
No, it's garbage. Especially because I love the first one so much.
Really?
I thought they did a great job with the first one.
Yeah, and the first one was pretty good. I love the first one.
Yeah, because this is gonna turn into a comic book nerd podcast, but I'm fine. And this goes anywhere. Because I'm a huge fan of comics, reading, watching, and everything. And because, Wonder Woman's character is, yes, she's attractive and a princess, but she's a warrior first, right? That's her thing, right? There's even like, this famous, I want to say famous, but this one comic book panel in Justice League that gets shared a lot is where Wonder Woman is telling Superman and Batman, it says the reason I don't have as many like arch enemies as you guys is I make sure they never come back. So them, right? Yeah, it was you guys. You just get them arrested.
Yeah,
no, I make sure they stop.
That's badass.
Right, and that's in the first movie. I feel like they really captured that Amazon warrior aspect, right?
Yeah,
without giving without giving too much away in the second movie. They didn't get that at all.
I've seen clips of the second movie, and it just seemed very like.
She was just like this lovesick girl, almost like a teenage girl, and
it felt so like out of place, and I don't know, it didn't seem right. I'll check it out eventually. But.
Yeah, because I'm the same way. I'm such a fan that I watch all the comic book stuff just to see it. Even if I know it's gonna be garbage, I'll still watch it just to support it. But I don't it was a weird thing picking the 1980s as a setting too, right? I mean. Because the way they depicted the kind of like the cornier side of the 80s, They made fun of the fashion and everything. And I feel like that was the wrong way to go to just tone-wise.
Yeah, for once I'd like, because like, I don't know, everybody, like I feel like just like pop culture in general, like it has like this like fetish for like the 80s, and I feel like that kind of ignored, like there was like the crack epidemic, like Reagan was kind of an asshole. Just shit like that. And I would like just like pop, because even Stranger Things kind of has that.
But Stranger Things, at least they don't make a joke out of it.
That
you
is
know?
fair. Yeah,
They
actually.
they nailed the tone of the decade without like winking to the audience. Isn't
Yeah.
this so funny? But Wonder Woman doesn't do that at all.
Really.
How do you even know about Ronald Reagan? He's way before your
I
time,
mean,
dude.
I am like, I'm pretty political. I just keep it like deep in.
Yeah, you don't talk about it in your stand-up at all. That's right.
Yeah, no, because I feel like so many comedians talk about it, and it's just like a tired trope, you know. Like I think if I talk about politics, it's like on a larger, like you know, like it's. I try to keep it personal, but like also like in a weird grand scale. Like I don't target like specific politicians. Like that Stop Asian Hate joke I have. You know, the one where it's like, as an Indian person, it's a weird, you know.
That's
I think
a great take on it.
yeah, because I think that's like a unique thing that I have. But as a whole, I'm not just gonna go and be like, fuck this politician, you know, because it's like boring now. It's just.
No, I like the fact that you called that out too. I guess maybe I shouldn't talk. I don't want to give away your bits.
Just go ahead. I don't.
You know how like technically you're Asian, but it's like,
Yeah.
come on, you know, like,
Yeah,
realistically speaking,
Really,
no
yeah.
one looks at me and thinks. I love it when people just call out things like that because like politically, it's not politically correct maybe to say it.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, we all think it and we all know it.
Yeah, we like it's very like it just feels this fly.
I know this fly is just.
It's like
not
a
going
special
away.
guest, bro. That's
No, we
Yeah.
brought it in with him. He was hanging out. Well,
yeah.
oh well, it doesn't matter. It was,
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, politics. Like I keep up with politics and stuff. I feel like
you're smart about it. You don't just make it the topic of conversation every time you.
yeah,
see
no,
people.
because I feel like I don't know, like just like social media and stuff, they reduce politics into like bite-sized things. It's become such like a tribal like thing where it's like you're either this, you're that, and nobody really talks about issues anymore.
How do you have that kind of mindset? Because I would say the general stereotype about your generation is you guys are just super into just being woke and being emotional as opposed to actually looking at issues,
Actually, it's weird because I feel like a lot of people I've noticed because I've been talking to a lot of people my age. A lot of people my age are kind of like ironic about it now. I feel like the people who are like actually like sincere about the wokeness are usually people in their like, I think now they'd be in their late 20s, early 30s. Us, I think like right now, like that like teenager to like early 20s, we're more like. We're kind of like more like ironic because we know like it doesn't matter. Like if like Louis Vuitton goes out and like the brand's like Black Lives Matter, like that doesn't change anything. Like that's not gonna, cops aren't gonna be like, you know what, yeah, Louis Vuitton said that, like I'm gonna stop killing black people. Like that's not a real thing.
Yeah, and it's like this signs people put up at the windows of their house, Black Lives Matter. So
like,
there you go, problem solved. Rest in peace, racism.
Yeah, I guarantee you, like nobody, like barely anybody my age cares because that's just performative stuff. Like nobody give like
Well, you know what? That actually gives me hope.
Yeah, no, because I've noticed
the fact that your generation actually realizes that. So
we're either really apathetic or cynical. That's all. Like we're either like
it's gonna be a lot of stand-ups in your generation.
We're either like we don't care about the like politics anymore, or like the only way to like change it is like through like a lot of grassroots things. And I think I'm in the former. Like I'm very like a progressive person. I'm not gonna call myself woke because I feel like that's a thing. But yeah, I think like you shouldn't judge people based on like all their like sexuality, religion, race, all that shit. But I also know like tweeting that isn't gonna help anyone. Like I'm not gonna change like my 100 followers mind.
Oh man, that's a great bit too, man. You're just naturally generating bits. That's a great point. Are your parents uber conservative, or do they fit the stereotypical Indian parents? Because I know they don't know you do stand up. You haven't told them.
Yeah, it's more so. I think my mom. She's pretty religious, but she is pretty progressive and like. I think she lost hope that I would be a traditional Indian like around like when I entered high school, because like I sucked at high school. I really did. Like I was horrible at that. Like I think I graduated with like a 2.8 GPA, and
Yeah, might
yeah,
as well be flunking for Asian parents.
yeah, I know. Like I remember it was funny. Like I lowered my parents' expectations so much. Like my sophomore year, they were just happy I didn't have a D in math. Like I'm honestly like proud of that in a way. Like I like broke boundaries with
Yeah,
that.
you set them up perfectly to live the life you actually want. As opposed
Yeah,
to-
no, I always I told my dad I want to be a writer, and I tried that out, but he was like, "Your writing kind of sucks," and I was like, "Yeah, I know, but I'm like 14, so
Yeah, it's not gonna
Yeah.
start great.
yeah." Right now, I think I'm obviously gonna tell my parents eventually because it's a big part of my life. I just want to get to a point where I have like something achievable with it, because right now, like, if they see me going to an open mic at like the Milk Bar or something with those 3 people at 1 a.m., they're gonna be like, "My son's ruining his life." Like they don't. Yeah. So.
You don't think they can appreciate the fact that, hey, you know what? At the beginning, this is just what it takes. You know, you have to get good. You're gonna do like these shitty venues at first. I mean, the Milk Bar is a great venue when there's people.
No,
if
it's
you get up early.
Milk
enough.
Bar's
Yeah, it's
great
fun.
if you're in like the first 10 to 15, but
yeah.
after that it turns into like a void.
You don't think you can just appreciate like the hard work that it takes and realize that you have to start off like this. But this,
I mean, my parents like they're pretty hardworking people. I really respect that. And when like hard work, they like came from India and like stuff, so it's really like it's like I don't think it's a very different type of hard work. Like this one's more mentally exhausting than physically exhausting. They were like physically exhausted and mentally exhausted. Like the amount of work I put into stand up is nothing compared to the amount of work they put into like anything to get here. So yeah, I think I'll just tell them when I have something, you know.
do you speak Tamil?
I speak Hindi and Urdu because like there's like 20. I don't think my parents speak
Fluently?
them. I mean, I can speak it. I can't really read it, but yeah, I'm fluent enough where like I can talk myself out of like conversations in India. Like I think once I was in India back in like 2017, this cop started like yelling at me, and I got out of that. So I was like, I think that's something.
Okay, yeah, that's amazing. Was that your first time in India?
No, I've been to India like at least like 5 or 6 times.
Okay, because I've never been to India, but to me, like my perception of it is it's just like it overwhelms your senses in every, like eye, like sight, sound, smells. It's just like overwhelming. Is that accurate way to?
Yeah, it depends on where you are. Like if you're at a big city, then yeah, you're gonna get overwhelmed very quickly. But if you're in like one of those small villages, then you're gonna be underwhelmed. Like there's gonna be nothing going on. Like you're gonna be bored as fuck. Like there's nothing happening. Yeah, but it's interesting to see how people live, you know, in that like, because I live in the city, like everything's popping, but like it's interesting to just get that perspective of like
You see the poorest of the poor.
not even because a lot of them are like kind of content, and that's very like the people who are like well-to-do, like in those villages, like they're content with what they have, which I think is like very, because like I feel like as a comedian, like I want to make it, which is obviously like a very lofty goal. Like I need it all, but it's very interesting to see like other people who have this like small patch of land, who have like the same routine every day, who if you like if you like their Monday nights and their like Friday nights have nothing like different, and they're fine with that, which is so like it's like the opposite of me, but like it's still like they're content, and it's
What do you think is a better way to live? Because for me, obviously we're creative, so we can never really live like
Oh, yeah.
that. But I remember just thinking when I really started going after the filmmaking videography thing, because it's just so hard. Well, the way any creative pursuit is, right? There's part of me that wished, that's just like, I wish I could just be content with a 9 to 5 job and I'm okay with just living, on the weekends or for the nights. Because I feel like life is just so much easier if you can be content with that, as opposed to like us actually chasing dreams and things like that. It's just so much harder to actually chase your dream.
I think, yeah, it's weird because like I realized the most comfort I have in like my day to day. I think one of the most comforting things is when I intern at UCSF. Because if I know I'm like, if this comedy shit doesn't work out, like I have this thing I'm doing here. But I think I don't know. Back to that point of like which way to live is better. I think that's probably like a harder to answer because each person's like different. So it's like probably like a suitable like thing. Because like I'm gonna be honest, like my dad is like really smart, but not in like the creative side of things. You know what I mean? Like he's more of like he's a good like he's good at stocks and stuff like that. So I think he could appreciate the routine and just having that like order because he's a very numbers type of guy.
What does he do?
He does a lot of stuff. Like right now, he's like boarding dogs. He's investing. He's like,
wow.
yeah, he does a lot of
So in
things.
his own way, he's kind of just like creating his own thing.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
But it's weird. He also has a routine where his like, because he doesn't have like a strict like 9 to 5 right now. So he's just like, he also like every day is kind of the same for him in a way. But he's content with that, and I always, at least I don't know, maybe it's because I'm young or something, but like I hate routines. Like I can't do that shit, you know.
I think maybe it's just a part of because your parents grew up in India, right? Like growing up in India, growing up in the Philippines versus growing up in America. America is very much you're encouraged to go after your dreams. You can do whatever you want if you put your mind to it. Whereas I don't know about India, but like in the Philippines and Asia, it's all about get a nice stable job, get secure so you can take care of yourself and your family, and that's what life is about. So I think it's just growing up with that different mindset, right? That's probably the mindset your dad grew up with. It's just
that is fair. He was born like India has that very strict, like you gotta be doctor, engineer, lawyer type of thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I kind of grew up with that too, where like when I was like 8, my dad was like, you can do anything you want. But then when I was like 12, he's like, all right, we got to get serious now.
We're not saying you could do anything you want. Yeah, that's all bullshit.
Yeah, I was like, all right, let's start talking income.
At 12, really?
Yeah, like he was expecting a lot at 12. Yeah.
Hey, that's young age.
Yeah,
man.
it is. Yeah, I was looking back and I was like, damn, bro, I don't think I'm at the maturity level now that he wanted to be when I was like 12.
What did he tell you when you were 12?
He expected me to be like coding and like, making all like selling stuff. And I was like, dude, I don't have an Instagram. Like, what are you talking about?
Can I just enjoy being a kid while I
Yeah.
can? Kind of thing?
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, so I kind of did still grow up with that India thing, and a lot of my my parents' friends are also like a lot of that. It's my parents' friends. They're also like very Indian people too, like doctor, lawyer, engineer type stuff. And their kids, like they actually like went all in. Like all of them are like engineers or like doctors right now. And so like that was my primary social group for a long time because 12. I can't really hang out with anybody else. Like I don't have a phone back then, so like when I would hang out with people, if they didn't show up at the exact spot, the exact time that we agreed upon, I was screwed, you know? It's a very tense time. So that was my primary social group, and it was so depressing because I think when I first started off, I always wanted to make like movies and like TV shows and stuff. I always wanted to write. I love writing.
Specifically scripts.
Yeah, just script writing. And like I kind of got like I've been looking at like cinematography and stuff. I really got into that.
A fellow filmmaker. Okay.
Kind of, yeah. I don't know how to do it, but I'm just like, it's very interesting seeing shots and that like really stand out. And yeah, it was very depressing for a second, just being like, I'm the outcast, you know? But yeah, it was cool meeting other people as like I made my own friends and like got into like stuff.
Was that when you decided to move to the city? Is that when it really kind of started blossoming?
I mean, so it's a weird trajectory. So I started writing my freshman year of high school. My dad kind of killed those dreams. He's like, dude, this shit is ass. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And then for the next like 2 years, I was just like smoking weed, just partying a lot, just like not thinking about the future and stuff, just kind of like being like a regular like high school, just making friends, going to parties.
And honestly, that's what you're supposed to do at that age. Yeah,
I guess. And but it's also like purposeless, you know, because like I kind of need a goal in life that I didn't have. Like, because like a lot of my friends, they still were like, I want to go to college for something, I want to do this, and I didn't really have that.
Yeah, I think that's really an unfair expectation to put on teenagers, to be perfectly honest, because I feel like you need a good amount of life experience to really discover what makes you you and what it is you want to do with your life. You can't be expected to know that at 18 and then go into six-figure debt.
Yeah.
To say that you end up not even using it because you don't know who you are, what you want at that age. I mean, there's those freaks who've always wanted to be a doctor or
Yeah.
engineer, but that's
No, it's weird because if you want to be a doctor because you actually want to help people, or if you want to be an engineer because you like making shit, that's different. But if you're like 12 and you're like, I want to be a doctor because I can make like six figures, and I'll be like, dude, like you need to chill the fuck out. Like go to English class, like read Hamlet or whatever, like figure it out.
You were telling me and Wally that you've actually had 8 different majors, right? Can you list them off for me?
I don't know if it was 8, but yeah, I think community college was like, I hated it while I was going there, but looking back, I think I'm kind of grateful for it because I met a lot of cool people and I just learned a lot about myself. So I started off as a biomed major, and I saw the amount of like...
That fly just will not...
Yeah, it will not. Yeah, I was like, okay.
Yeah, for those who are just listening, it was just like hovering around Numaan's head, and now it's just hanging out on his mic arm.
Yeah.
And microphone. I don't know what went on here. Anyway.
But
Numaan's emitting some sort of hormone that's attracting it, probably. I'm
just like really...
I'm usually that way. They're really attracted like to my ears for some reason. Like if I'm walking down the street and there's a fly, it always tries to fly in my ear. I don't know why.
I mean, I need to get a haircut. I need to like shave. Maybe I'm giving like hobo vibes, and he's like, all right, these are my people or something,
What you were saying?
Oh yeah, so I started off a biomed major, and then they're like, it's gonna take you like 4 to 5 years to transfer. I'm like, I am not fucking doing that. And also, I'm like, it's a lot of math classes. I'm like, I suck at math. I hate math with a passion. I cannot do this. And then the second was computer science because I was like, let's live the stereotype for a while.
Computers are cool.
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm done breaking boundaries. Let's do this shit. And I told my dad, and then he got scared. He was like, I've seen your high school performance. You're not cut out for that. And I was like, fair enough. So I did poli-sci, and that was just really boring, and you can't really do, at least from what I've seen, you can't really do anything with that degree. I don't know if you can. I think you can go to law school, but...
Yeah, this is one of those like prerequisites that fit for law school.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't know about being a lawyer. Then I did a business, and I was like, I don't know shit about business. Then I did criminal justice. That was kind of cool, but I was like, I do not want to be a cop. And then... last was psychology, so that's number 6. So I did 6 majors.
It's only 6. It's not 8. Folks.
Yeah.
6 is not bad. 6 is a good
6.
number. Yeah.
And it was funny because like somehow I still got out in like 2 years, even though I changed. Like my counselor hated me by the time I like left community college. He was like, "You're coming back," and I was like, "Yeah, I need to get this shit done." But yeah, I did it. And
but for me, I found that I actually I flourished outside of high school.
Oh, yeah.
I almost didn't graduate.
Really?
Because I don't know if it's still the same way, but back when I was in high school, in the late 90s, there was this rule where if you had more than 6 absences, you automatically get an F for that class. And if you have an F in one semester, you don't graduate. Right? So I hate waking up in the morning. So if you look at my absences, like for my first class, it would be something like 55. Second class would be like 41. Third class would be like 25. And then the last period, 6th period, there'd be 6. And those 6, those are the legit absences where I was actually 6. I just wouldn't go to class in the morning because I just hate waking up.
No, yeah, same.
But I would do the work. I would get A's on the assignments and everything in English. But just because I had so many absences, I got an F. I had to beg my teacher to change it to a D- just so I could graduate. And she was just down because she knew, I aced all the tests. I get A's on the assignments and stuff. I just don't show up to class.
Yeah, that's stupid. You should.
Yeah. So that's why when I got out of high school and I can choose my own schedule, I just flourished.
Yeah, no, same. Because you've seen when I wake up, like
you've
seen the text.
Yeah, so I know when I was texting you this morning to confirm that this guy's not gonna reply for a while.
Yeah, I woke up at like 12, so I was like, yeah, I'm coming.
Yeah. So what happened to you on Like in that group thread we had, you threw some sort of party. And you were so shit faced.
Oh.
Some girl was like, you had no idea who this girl was. You said, "I love you" to all of us.
Oh yeah, no, it was a yeah, cause it was funny. So basically the night before that, I also got shit faced because I was feeling bad because I bombed and
This
like
is at Milk Bar, right?
no, this was at Swinging Door. I bombed and then I was like, I see like my roommates already have like liquor out, so I'm like, fuck it, might as well. I do that. I wake up the next day, I found out I'm booked for LA, and I'm like, oh shit, this is great, you know? And we're also having that Thanksgiving party, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get even more shit-faced now, because now I have something to get shit-faced for. And then I was just very happy, because, yeah, I don't think you've ever seen Drunk Me, but
No, I haven't.
Drunk Me is a very happy me. Like, it's like the...
Hey, that's a good kind
Yeah.
of drunk to be, honestly.
Yeah, no, like, it's much better than angry drunk or, like,
emotional
sad drunk.
drunk.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's nothing worse
Yeah.
than the emotional drunk.
Yeah, no, I'm a very happy. It's like me, but like very open,
Yeah.
like very friendly, and
So the opposite of when you're doing stand up.
yeah,
Like smiling.
yeah.
you know.
If I did stand up when I was drunk, I would like bomb because I'd be saying that like. I'd be saying jokes like I hate myself with like a complete grin on my face, just laughing or something. Yeah, it would not be going well, but yeah, I was just very happy. I don't know what girl was texting me, but I didn't text her. I think she texted me at 11. I texted her back at like 4 a.m. I was like, I'm very shit-faced right now. So yeah, and then I was like, you know what? I'm on my phone. I like you guys. I'll text you guys. I was like, I love you guys. You know, very supportive group of people.
Oh, you know what's funny about that group thread is I have no notifications turned off on that thing.
All right,
It's just way too many messages. Man.
that's fair.
I remember because I'm the kind of person I try not to be a slave to my phone.
That's fair.
If I'm doing something, I put it away. Don't even look at it. I think I put it away for 30 minutes, and I go back and look at it, and there was like 84
Yeah.
messages. Like, okay, this is too much, man. I can't keep up with this. That's
That-
why, like, you rarely ever see me like reply in the thread or anything, right? It's
That's
just
very
like, it's
fair.
just too much. You know, I'll read it, and then, but by the time I read it,
The
a bunch of funny things have already been said. Like, oh, what am I? I'm gonna come in hella late.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember that thing you said earlier? Yeah, let me reply to that. You know, it's like, so I mean, it's kind of funny how we found ourselves in this circle of comics that it just kind of clicked,
Yeah.
right? And we've even formed a little club around it where
Yeah.
we're trying to do things together. I never expected that at all. Did you find when it's like what we talked about, Lonnie, you know, kind of like, you know, when you entered the stand-up world, you felt like you found your tribe almost.
I mean, not because I used to only do it like once a week. So it's not like I see you guys like almost every night now.
Yeah, you're doing it a lot. We're all doing it a lot
Yeah.
these days. Yeah.
So it's like every night I'll see at least like one or two of you, so it'll be fine. But back then, I kind of had a friend group, but it was like 2 or 3 people. I think Jason was one of them. Jason Cruz.
I've seen him around with you and Denise. I think I've only spoken to him once.
Yeah.
I know he was,
Me and him were pretty close because like we were like 17 and 18 back then.
okay.
So like young people, and then yeah, there were 2 other guys. One of them I saw do stand up once at Mutiny again recently, but the other guys I don't think they're doing stand up anymore because they were like both in jobs and like IT and stuff. I don't think they try to do it anymore. But other than that, yeah, I didn't really have a tight group. Like we not as tight as us. Like those guys, we would just like talk. We wouldn't like exchange bits or like work together comedy wise. We just talk. But yeah, this is a very new thing for me.
Does it feel weird? Because like I said, when we were having lunch one time with Wally, right, and you pointed out that, oh yeah, you should be hanging out with people your age instead of old farts like me. It's like, God damn, that made me feel so old. But it's fine because I am old.
No,
But
I
it's just,
mean-
I never even think about it though, honestly. Because like in my mind, like, oh, we're all the same.
Yeah, no, because I think it's because I think now we all live to like 90 or something. Just like, so I think age-wise, like I think it's more of like a mental state. Like I meant like physically, like don't go.
Yeah, no, me and your dad should be best friends.
Yeah.
I should be talking to your dad here on a podcast.
But no, I think no, you probably click with me more than my dad because
Really?
my dad probably is like he's an interesting guy, but I don't think he would probably wouldn't do something like this. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think we're all very like-minded people, and I know like people my age, like my like parents groups, like they're like kids, they seem way older than you. Like they're gonna be like they have kids now when they're like 22, and I'm like Jesus Christ, man.
Kids at 22.
Yeah, I'd kill myself.
Yeah.
like that's a lot of work.
Yeah,
I would not.
That's like there you go. Your life's over already.
Yeah,
at
I was like,
22,
unless I can take my kid to the milk bar at 3 a.m., like this isn't this isn't happening. But yeah,
Kid at 22.
no, I mean, if that's what they want, that's what they want. But yeah, like you got, like I think we're all very like-minded people, so you can gel differently. And I think it's just balance. Like for me, I'm like, cause for the first 2 months since I turned 21, it was just like you guys I was hanging out with, just comedians. But after what do you call it, after like Halloween, I started hanging out with my other friends too a little more, just to get like a balance and like realize that life is not all comedy.
Yeah, it's good to have a circle outside of the comedy world for sure. I mean, that's the way I always felt whenever I had like a circle of friends that revolves around anything, right? Like when I had a circle of friends back when I used to be a stage actor, I found it always helped to have the friends that I had outside of that too. Because you can definitely get caught up in a bubble.
Oh yeah.
Right, or like back when I used to do a lot of martial arts, I had my martial arts friends, and all they want to talk about is martial arts. I was like, this is not me. Like, okay, we're having fun while we're doing it, but I want to talk about other things too. I'm not just like a one-dimensional kind of person. But I remember they were so obsessed with it that when we would hang out and have dinner outside in the parking lot, they would just start doing martial arts in the parking lot. I was like, Jesus, guys, come on. They just could not turn it off.
Could you imagine that with us? We just started doing stand-up sets in the parking lot.
Outside, yeah. But just like that's what apparently Chappelle used to do that.
Oh, really?
Before, yeah, he'd be in a park or just outside. He'd just start gathering people around. Hey, come on, let's do a comedy show.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've never.
I mean, I think I've seen people do that. I did that. We did that at the Tenderloin once, which is a very.
How did that go over?
It went well for me because I was the host of that show, and I just gathered a bunch of people, and
just followed the trail of shit.
Kind of, yeah. It was really funny. There was that one joke I start off with, have you ever gotten cheated on? And I asked one guy who was just walking. He turns around, like tears in his eyes. He's like, hell yeah, I did. He just stays for like my entire set, and a bunch of people just start coming. And it was a really fun experience regardless, because like I feel like even like most comedians, like they can't kill in every crowd is like different, but I think it's just a good practice for you to like just try to like work with different crowds, just so you like, because if you can like kind of kill at a crowd you're not good with, you can definitely kill a crowd you are good with. They're just like endurance training.
Since you brought that up, I do have to ask, that one bit you do about how your girlfriend is married, is that based in truth, or is that just completely made up for comedy?
That's made up. I made that up during the pandemic because I was very lonely. I was very lonely. Yeah, I was making a lot of dating jokes back then because I was like, that was the only thing in my mind, because I was on Tinder. I was just like matching and like messaging with chicks, but we would never meet up because most of them were like, not vaccinated. And I was like, damn, I want to touch someone, but like,
not yourself.
Yeah.
You've gotten to know your right hand very well.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the left hand's for. You get something different,
I guess, yeah.
It's not as coordinated, so it almost feels like someone else is doing it.
Fair enough. I should have tried that, Shit, where have you been?
We've all been there, man.
Right.
But it's like, I'm under the impression, obviously, like I said, I've been with my wife for 15 years now. It just feels like, to me, it's just so easy to date these days with these apps. It's so easy to meet someone, right? So there's almost no excuse to be alone at this point, isn't it?
Shit, now I feel bad.
No, I guess it was different during the pandemic, obviously. Yeah. That's a big, but in general, am I right with that assumption?
I mean, it's easy to find like hookups. It's harder to find like relationships, because I think I can't speak for everyone. Like I'm very like self-centered right now. Like I'm very like focused on certain things.
Like, self-focus is a better way to
Okay,
put
yeah.
it. Yeah, you're focused on your goals and trying to achieve
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
so I'm like, I don't know if I have the time for something like that, but like,
Oh, when the right person comes along, there's always all the time in
yeah,
the world.
I guess, yeah. And I'm like, I'm 21. Like, do I have time? Do I need one right now?
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
It'd be nice, but like,
yeah, I would honestly just, have fun and play the field and really just go after
Yeah.
the things you want.
Yeah.
I mean, because, like, by the time you're 30, like, you would have, what, 12 years in comedy, 13? Just imagine where you're going to be in comedy at that point, because they say 10 years is kind of like the magic mark when they say you really know what you're doing and you're really kind of mastering it at that point. Who knows? By that time, you have multiple Netflix specials.
wow, that would be the dream.
I mean, I don't see why not. Why can't it be us? Some people have to make it.
Yeah.
Why can't it be us? There's no reason why I can't.
I think there's this very interesting quote Jerry Seinfeld said. He said, whenever new comedians come up to me, I always tell them they're most likely not going to make it. And if a comedian actually takes that advice and gives up, then they're never going to make it anyway. And I think for me, it's like, even like, because right now, like, we're meeting like with mostly like open micers and like maybe some people who do shows. And if they tell me I'm not gonna make it, I'm like, dude, who are you? Like, you're someone performing at this shitty venue. Like, you're not, like, what qualifications do you have? And if Jerry Seinfeld's like, even if I tell you don't listen to me, like, like, yeah, I'm not gonna listen to anyone because we're all gonna die. I mean, like, what? I'm not gonna like.
No, there you go. It took a turn for the depressing.
Yeah, no,
that's Numan's specialty right there.
No, I mean, we're all gonna die, and I don't want to like regret, because I hate regrets. Like, I regret a lot in like high school, like just a wasted time.
Is that why you hate it so much? Because
yeah, no, look, just I wasted a lot of time doing a lot of like there was a lot of fun times, and I met a lot of cool people, a lot of close friends, but like. It's a lot of wasted time because it's like 8 hours of school. I come back, just watch TV, and then maybe do homework, and then go to sleep.
By
like,
maybe you mean no.
Yeah, probably not. But
according to your GPA.
Yeah, probably not. But just a lot of like TV and
I feel
watching.
like, isn't that what your teenagers are? Unless you're playing sports,
Oh yeah.
or unless you have tiger parents. That's kind of like what teenagers do, right? Play video games, to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, your generation, you guys have the phone, so you're probably doing a lot more watching than
Yeah.
like playing video games, right? I just feel like that's what teenage years are supposed to be. Obviously, it's different if you're living in a different country. You're probably working since you're 8 years old, providing for the family.
No, for me, it's just knowing because I always wanted to write, and I was starting to write when I was like 13, 14, but I gave up so easily. And now, like, I'm 21 doing stand-up, and you get faced with, like, shit every day, you know?
Yeah.
Like, every fucking day.
Oh,
There's something that goes wrong that like, maybe not, but, like, every week, there's that one mic, that one show that makes you rethink, just, like, what the fuck am I doing? And that's, like, yeah, but I'm such a stronger person now where I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna keep going. And if I had that same, like, mentality when I was, like, 13, 14, I just, like, I'm kind of like pissed off that I didn't have that back then because I feel like I would just been way better now.
But it took that experience to make you realize that no, you need to have that attitude of
That is fair.
no,
Yeah.
fuck it, right? I mean, and it's never too late to go back into writing,
Yeah.
Because the one thing like
No, I wrote a feature and like a pilot last year.
whoa,
Yeah.
that's an accomplishment on its own, man. It takes a lot to write a feature.
Yeah, no, it was really fun. I love doing it.
What is it about? What's the log line? You can give me the log line.
The logline was it was basically about this alcoholic author who tries to be sober to reconnect with his daughter. It was something along the lines of that. It's like a dark comedy. Like
yeah, you have a touch for the depressing for
yeah.
sure.
If you ever watch like BoJack Horseman,
Yeah.
it was a lot. It was a lot like that.
You're big into BoJack Horseman?
Dude, one of my favorite shows.
Then my wife loves that show.
It is such a good show.
It's a good show, but it's like I came into it with the expectation that it was gonna be a comedy.
Oh, really?
That thing gets dark and serious, man. Oh my god.
One of my friends, she introduced me to that show, and she told me, she's like, you're gonna love it because you're depressed as fuck. And I was like, shit, I do love it. She was right,
Yeah. I'm more like Bob's Burgers. That's
Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, Bob's Burgers. I mean, I used to love The Simpsons, but I feel like they needed to put that show out of its misery 15 years ago. It's just
I can't ever, because I'm a completionist. So I'm scared of starting shows like Naruto or like The Simpsons or like Family Guy because they have so many fucking episodes, and I'm gonna want to complete them all no matter how shitty it gets. And I'm like, that's gonna take years of my life,
Yeah,
you know. Like forget about regrets back then. I'm gonna regret shit now, you know.
yeah, because with The Simpsons, those first 10 seasons, man, it was just spectacular, amazing writing, and this is like a good mix of humor. You know, they have the silly stuff for the kids, but there's layers underneath where they're making social commentary.
Oh, really?
And just a lot of dry stuff. Like one of the, I don't. There's this. Can't remember what episode, but there's just something that makes me laugh where Bart is telling Lisa a story. And he's just saying, anyway, so I says to Mabel, I says, just like little things like that. Why is this little kid talking that way? There's a lot of little things they put in there that, kind of miss people. And like I feel like these for the past 15 maybe even 20 years, I don't know, their comedy has just become so like sophomoric. And
really? I heard about that. I've never watched The Simpsons enough to like notice it. Yeah, to be
like I love Family Guy too. I mean, if I'm complaining about The Simpsons being sophomoric, I mean Family Guy is just like a really low bar in terms of what it talks about, but it's done very well, in my opinion. That kind of more slapsticky, just kind of really out there kind of comedy. So, but Bob's Burgers to me, it's kind of like a lighter version. It's like Diet BoJack Horseman.
Oh,
There's some
really?
seriousness into it too, but it's still like silly enough where it's not like I'm just like getting depressed after an episode kind of thing.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. I rarely watch comedy shows. I watch a lot of stand up, obviously, but like comedy shows, I think I watch more because I always need like a bar, because if crazy shit happens too much, like in Family Guy, then it stops being crazy in a way.
Yeah, exactly. That was,
is Stewie gonna shoot the president? Yeah, probably. Do I care? No. But things, I think my favorite comedy show is probably Community. I don't know if you ever watched it.
My wife loves it. I never got into it. It's one of those things where I know there's a bunch of seasons. So it's like
6 seasons. It's not
still 6, but it's like 22 episodes per season, right?
No, the last I think 3 only have 13, so it's a lot shorter. And the first 3 seasons are the best golden television right there. Just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, one other one of the reasons why I just can't get into that show too. I don't know, Joel McHale just doesn't do it for me.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I just don't buy him as a lead.
Wow.
I don't know why. He just doesn't. Maybe it's just I can't help but associate him with Talk Soup.
Oh, okay.
So every time I see him, it's just like, oh, this is just the Talk Soup guy kind of thing. But mind you, I'm saying this as someone who never really watched the show, right?
That's fair.
I used to hate Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I watched, I think, the first 2 episodes when it came out, and I just couldn't stand it. Just because, one, I don't buy Coulson as a lead. I think he's a supporting character, not a lead. And then 2, Agent Ward, who's supposed to be the super badass agent. Earlier, and I think in episode 2 or 3, he's training Sky. I'm going deep in the nerd stuff here.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
He's training Sky how to fight on a heavy bag, how to punch. And this is my background, I fight, right? And I saw the super agent punching. It's like, oh man, that's such a bullshit technique. This guy doesn't know how to fight at all. So they lost me at that. But my wife really got into the show a few months ago on Netflix. So I just kind of started watching it. I was like, oh, this is actually a really good show.
Oh, really?
It doesn't matter that I don't buy Coulson as a lead because it's really more of an ensemble type show where the whole team is basically equal. They got some really good storylines in there, and there's still just a good amount of, just the right amount of humor to keep it somewhat light, but they got some serious undertones. I really highly recommend it. It's a great. The whole series is on Netflix, and the last 2 seasons start getting a little bit funky. But man, it's a great show. I highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't watched it. Because I'm usually not a fan of shows that are on the main channels like ABC, NBC, but no, it's solid.
Yeah, and I get that. I might check it out eventually. I think it's just a time thing.
I
get very consumed. when I start watching shows, I can't like.
So what do you watch? What do you watch these days?
Right now, I'm not watching anything. Like I go home and I'll sometimes watch a movie because that's a lot easier. Maybe something on YouTube. Like usually, I just listen to music.
Oh, you're a big music guy.
I
huh?
love music.
What do
Like,
you listen to?
I listen to like almost like every genre, like rock, rap, like hip hop.
Country?
I wish I need to get into
Yeah,
that.
country's
That's
always the one that's
yeah,
always
that's the
left
only
out.
one. I think it's because I don't know. I think it's just like I don't have that like experience.
Yeah, we're not exposed to it in the Bay Area, right?
That and then I don't know. It's just like I don't have enough life experience to appreciate like having a chill day on the field or something or whatever.
Oh, dude, we've already been going on for 45 minutes. Yeah,
Wow.
So, yeah, no, I'm trying to keep it like at half an hour. So that
Half
these
an
are
hour.
more digestible.
40
Because my other podcast before was like 2 hours, two and a half hours. Yeah, yeah.
Jesus.
Like I did one with Wally. That's how me and Wally met.
Oh really?
Actually, because I really like the past 2 years, I've really been looking at how to build my own audience, right?
Mhm.
So when I started a podcast, I was trying to connect with other local podcasters that are kind of at somewhat level, but could definitely boost me up by having them on since I already have somewhat of a following. And I remember finding Wally's podcast on Instagram, and I think he had like at that point he had 3,000 followers already. His podcast was doing well for being local and getting started. He had sponsors and everything, so I went after Wally as a guest, and yeah, he agreed to be on my podcast, and we talked for 2.5 hours over Zoom. I never met him, so that was the old version of the podcast.
really?
Which I really love talking to people like one on one. For that, I just like to let the conversation flow. But realistically speaking, I think because I'm a no one, I'm not Joe Rogan. Who's gonna wanna like?
Yeah, no, that's
so like
that's
they
fair.
see my podcast like 2.5 hours long. They're not gonna wanna watch that, right? It's like little tips. So that's why I'm trying to keep these at like 30 minutes. But obviously, I'm failing at that. Every
fair.
single episode I shot today has been 50 minutes, and we're
Really?
gonna get there.
What
too.
is the time? I need to vaccinate my dog soon. I think
It
like
is.
401. Okay. 401. That's fair.
Yeah, I told you you'd get out of here at 4.
Yeah, I think so. But I'm fine.
Yeah, what are you? You're gonna get your dogs vaccinated? Not for COVID, right?
No, for
something like
rabies.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Get them both.
Yeah, you're going a little over the top here.
Yeah, nah. That's at 5:20.
No? Okay,
It'll take like half an hour to get
where's
back.
it at?
It's back in Santa Clara.
Yeah, what
so-
kind of dog do you have?
I have a golden lab.
Yeah, labs are nice dogs, man.
He's a lot like me, I think. I don't know how. Like he's a very chilled out dog for the most part. Like he's like he'll just like sleep all day and then he'll get kind of active in the night for like 2 walks, food, and then he'll like go knock out back to sleep.
Well, they say they do tend to reflect, the owner's,
Yeah.
Personality and energy.
Yeah.
So
I was around him for like 4 years of his life.
Yeah, that
I
makes
left
a lot of
recently.
sense.
I come back and he's still the same. I was like, I feel powerful. I feel like
yeah, it's basically representing you while you're gone in the house.
Yeah.
He's your proxy at this
yeah,
point.
he's my legacy. That's
Yeah,
what he is.
Oh man, I love dogs. We don't have any.
Oh really?
I grew up having dogs when I was a kid, but for some reason, when we moved here to America when I was 6, my mom just didn't want dogs anymore. For some reason, she put up with it in the Philippines, but here she didn't. And I
Interesting.
haven't had a dog since, but I love dogs, man.
Yeah, no, dogs. I love dogs.
I would take dogs over cats any day of the week.
Yeah.
I like animals in general.
I
but-
love like just anything like
Yeah.
animal like.
But if I had to
animals are dope.
choose, would
Oh
you-
yeah, I'm a very big like I like cats. They're cool too, but like I love like when I come back home and I see my dog, I just go. I was like I give him a big hug. I was like finally like comfort, you know?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like after like just like slumming it at the milk bar or
Yeah,
like
like
at
some
like
of these
swinging
open
door
bars,
for a
yeah.
while, you come back and you're like my dog, bro. He doesn't care if I'm funny or not. I can't bomb in front of my dog, you
Yeah.
know?
What's the worst you've ever felt after like either doing a mic or a show?
Oh, so this was a Zoom show I did. I got on this festival. I think it was like the New York Underground Comedy Festival or something like that. It was, and I do my set, and while I'm doing, first of all, I have a shitty laptop, so the video is all blurry. Like I look like I'm in a hostage video. And I talk hella depressed, you know? So yeah, it's horrible. The person before me, he doesn't do a comedy show. He does like a light show or something. Like there's like lights flying around it. It's very nice. I come on and I'm like, hey, I used to be a Starbucks barista or something. And it's so depressing. It's so depressing that this woman who's watching, she falls asleep. And at that point, it's a worse bomb because it's only me there. I'm alone in my bedroom. Just pin drop silence. As soon as I'm done, I start thinking two things. One, grad school. And two, can I kill myself? You know, like I'm at a point where if I kill myself, nothing bad will happen financially to anyone I know. God. Like that's it. These are the two thoughts in my mind. Yeah, it was a tough.
So what kept you from taking the plunge?
Was
it your dog?
Yeah, my dog, and I just went and watched like some cartoons with my sisters because they were just still there just to clear my mind. And then I woke up the next day. I'm like, I'm not gonna do comedy on Zoom for like a good week or two. And then yeah, that's kind of it.
Did that Zoom experience help at all in terms of your developing as a comic?
I think it was good for writing. I wrote a lot of great bits. I think as a performer, it made me worse for a while.
Really?
Because I was so used to because we didn't hold mics or anything. We were just talking, and since it's a laptop, I wouldn't have to talk so loud. So once I started getting on stage again, I don't know, like mic etiquette, where to keep it.
So you're super conscious.
Yeah, that I wouldn't speak loud enough. I get kind of nervous.
Yeah, you know what? I remember that's what I thought of you the first time I saw you. The first time I went up at Alameda Comedy Club. Like I could barely hear it. I was hearing your business. Like I was thinking, man, this guy's actually really funny, but you just can't hear what he's saying.
Yeah,
it was so interesting. Oh, that's so funny. I think for me, the worst I felt was I think it was the fifth time.
Oh, really?
That I did it. Because, I got kind of lucky where the first time I did it was Alameda Comedy Club. There was an actual audience, and it was like a full house, that outdoor show. So obviously, when there's an audience, it's a completely different experience, right? And second time was Neck of the Woods. Again, there was an actual audience there. So I was like, oh, all right, this is what it's like to do open mics. There's just audiences.
Oh, yeah. Such a misconception.
Yeah, and then
such a misconception.
I think my fourth time was at 7th West. With Bit City, and they do a good job of getting an audience there. And I remember it was the first time I did that. That whole bit I do about turning 40, right, and what it's like being an Asian. Turning 40, and it killed there. And then the next day I went over to Britannia Arms, and I think it's the first time they did it there, so it wasn't really organized. I hear it's an amazing room now.
Interesting.
And over there in San Jose. It's really more Cupertino because it's closer to De Anza.
I used to go to De Anza. So
it's closer to De Anza than it is.
Like, if it was around,
it's listed as San Jose. I don't know why, but I hear it's an amazing room now. But that very first one, it was outdoors. The bar didn't even know that there was going to be an open mic. I arrived 15 minutes early. I asked, "Is this where the open mic is?" And then the bartender looked at me like, "I don't even know what you're talking about, dude." I was like, "Oh, that's not a good sign." And so it was set up outside, there was like that tent and everything. And then where the mic was set up, the poles for the tent, blocked the audience members' view of the comic. So you couldn't even really see it. And then there was a baseball game going on, and they're just there to watch the baseball game. So no one was paying attention. And then actually by the time I got up, I think there was only 2 people, and they're not even really paying attention. The rest are comics. And while the comics were doing, their set, the host that night, I'm not going to say who it was, the host was running around like in front of the comics, like doing errands and setting things up while you're performing. And no one's listening, not even the comics. So I went from the night before where I killed from the audience to that where it's just complete crickets. And I just started questioning, like, do I even know what the hell I'm doing? Like, am I just delusional? I remember I went home, and my wife, Chris, just asked me, how did it go? And I just wasn't even answering her. She said she could tell by the way I goes in the house. I'm just like, I had like that 1,000-yard stare. Like my energy was just like, like bad and negative. I'll just tell you when you're done. 'Cause
Yeah.
I had no idea that, hey, this is just what an open mic really is. I just got lucky with the earlier experiences that there was an actual audience. Now, something like that doesn't bother me because I know that's what you expect at most open mics.
I think the good thing for me is when I bomb, usually the car ride back is when I process shit. So I don't really interact with someone after. But once so the night I bombed at Swinging Door, I was bringing my roommate with me because we had to go back to the airport, pick up his girlfriend, and so he got to see what a raw bomb was like. I was like kind of snapping at him, which usually I never do, I didn't even notice it until after. He was like, all right, I want to talk to you. And I was like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. Like I was just caught up in my head, And it was weird. It was eye opening realizing that. I was like, shit, that is not.
That bothers you at Swinging Door? Because like for me, Swinging Door, while there are definitely comics that pay attention.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, if you get some laughs there, it's a good sign.
Yeah.
But like not getting laughs there doesn't bother me because to me like that's just a laugh. It is like 99% comics. It's just what I expect.
I think for me it's just like, because I'm very pessimistic at times. When I bomb, either I think shit I'm not funny or shit why am I performing here? One of those two things. I can never be like, oh, it's just Swinging Door. That's why it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I just go into those things with no expectations.
Yeah.
Essentially, because that's what I learned from that experience from Retaliate Arms. It's like, oh, okay. And then I started doing more mics. It's like, okay, most of the mics are just like this, Comics are not paying attention. They're either too busy looking at their own notes, trying to work on their material, or they're
going through their whole bomb thing,
Yeah.
And I mean, I get
or they're just not listening at all. It's like, it's just too many factors of why they wouldn't laugh, right?
Yeah.
So it just doesn't bother me.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, I need to work on that because I get kind of bitter at times where I'm just like, I need to be a better, need to kill every time,
Well, I think that's where just life experience comes in because I've experienced a lot of things not working out over my life. And like I said, I used to be a stage actor. You go on auditions, you can't go in there expecting to land job. You'll never make it. Even like in the theater world, you're gonna get your heart broken so many times. And even just, I remember the last 9 to 5 gig I had, I was working as a producer at a media agency, but it took me 1.5 years to land that gig. I was looking for a full-time job for 1.5 years, getting rejected all over the place. And to a certain point, you just kind of get numb to it.
I think for me, because like, I think, me, I'm a pretty carefree, chilled out guy. Like there's very few things I care about a lot. Comedy is one of them. So like I'm very new to caring about things that aren't very like
that's what a statement. I'm very new to caring about things.
I'm very because like I didn't give a fuck about most things in high school. Community college, I was just vibing for the most part. So this is the first time where I'm like very actively involved in like something I care about. So when it doesn't go the way I want, I get very like emotional about it. In a way, like my emotional, But.
I will say this. I mean, to back you up on that, when things don't work out for you stand-up wise, if you're in front of an audience and you bomb, there's no denying that it's you.
Yeah.
Back when I was a stage actor, it's like, okay, I mean, I didn't write the script.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sometimes the audience is into it, sometimes they're not. But like when it's you doing material you wrote, it definitely feels a lot more personal.
Yeah, no, it does. Either you feel great because it's full ownership of what you've done, or you feel like shit because you can't blame anybody else.
Yeah. But I mean, that being said, different audiences are different. They respond to different things.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I feel like if you're solid, you should still be able to get some laughs no matter what.
Oh yeah, no.
You should know how to handle the situation so that it does work for you, right?
Yeah.
Even if you just get some chuckles, like I've. What's it called? I've done, these mics where it's in a bar and there's only like 2 to 4 actual people. But, if I can get those 2 to 4 people engaged with me, even if you get a chuckle like in that environment, that's a victory right there, right?
Honestly, for me, if there's 2 to 4 people, that's fine with me because then I just do crowd work. And I love those little interactions you get. because it's very intimate, it's very focused,
Yeah.
and it's nice. You know, it's just it's fun for me, and I'm pretty sure it's fun for them
Yeah.
because they're laughing.
I guess it just didn't work out that one night we were at that show that's not to be named. Right? Where you were staring into the void.
Oh yeah, no, I couldn't even see them. And yeah, it was just a very.
You walked the only two audience members we
Oh
had.
yeah, that was sad. I was like, did I do that bad? Like these are proven jokes, dude. I don't know.
Who knows? They'd been there for a while.
That
already
is
at
fair.
point, too.
And then yeah, that wasn't
it feels weird being the only two people there
Yeah.
and there's no one else around.
that wasn't the best introduction too. That was a very
You know, that
yeah.
was that pissed me off.
Yeah, I was like,
that's why I just you know, I want to say I went after her, but I made sure to talk about it during my set and even afterwards too. When she's tried to go at me, I was like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna back down. No, listen, we can do this all night if you want.
Yeah, I was just staring like
It's just I don't know, man. It's just not cool to
Yeah.
get it started off that way. You know,
it's not a great.
Yeah, and it's definitely not a. It's not as if it was a meritocracy where
Oh yeah.
because we're not as good comics you know, but that has nothing to do
No.
with it at all,
Definitely not.
right? Nothing to do with it at all. So that's why I took such umbrage. You like that word? You're right, umbrage. Yeah,
Yeah.
I took such umbrage with it when that happened. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna just let you shit on us.
Yeah.
You know, and then when she tried shitting on me after my set, it's like, no, you're not gonna shit on me. You know what? I just killed for whatever this room was. I did really
Yeah. No.
good.
You did great.
Yeah. Then she's gonna try to say that I was bombing. It's like I wasn't even close to bombing. It's like I want to name this person so bad, but I'm trying to stay out of
Yeah,
the whole
no.
political.
Political.
landscape. You know, because that's one of the things I've learned. Man, we're at over an hour at this point. I know
Wow.
I was again, but I can't help it, man. I like talking to people, and obviously, Alex, you're one of my comedy comrades, as I like to say. So
Oh, yeah,
the
dude.
conversation flows. But one of the things I've learned, you know, you know, as I've gotten older, is really just to stay out of the muck, the political muck between
Oh, yeah.
people and the bitterness and negativity, because it just serves no purpose. It's just not going to help you out at all to get involved in any of
Yeah.
that.
No. Totally. For me, when I just mind my business. Like I'm like I don't because I didn't care about like stuff like drama in high school.
Like you said, caring is a new thing for you.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck now. Like these are grown people bickering, and I'm like, I just want to like make it. You know?
Do you feel like maybe that's what hurts you and me though too, in terms of getting booked, because maybe we don't get involved as much as maybe we should?
I mean, I don't, because I think first of all we're 3 months in. You know, like we don't have the connections.
Well, I'm 3 months in. You're like a year.
I mean,
in?
it's I didn't make connections in that time.
So it's only the last 3 months where you
Really,
started.
like it's
Okay.
only the like if for a lot of comedians they would say like these 3 months are like really when I started, because I was talking to like some other people and I told them that like you know like before I would only perform, I think from 2018 to the first half of 20, like the first 3 months of 2020, the amount of times I performed would be around 15.
Yeah, that's not much
That's-
at all.
That's
man.
nothing.
Yeah, we can get that in 2.5
And-
weeks now.
Yeah,
it's like,
for me it's like a week and a half
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
I do
yeah.
like 8 to 9.
Oh yeah, because you live in the city. There's a
Yeah,
lot
like-
of mics you can get on.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, that's fair. And also, yeah, just that. And like, just connections wise, it's like I didn't make any connections back then. Like, I think I knew, like, I was very, like, because I was still, like, I still had a very, like, I had a social group to follow. I was like, I have friends. And I still have friends now, but I just don't, because now I'm very committed to this. I don't see him as often.
So you're more around just like kind of playing around with it at first, then it sounds.
Yeah, it was more of, it was honestly just kind of like, I've wanted to be a comedian since I was 16. I just didn't know the path and how much you had to put into it. Because I thought like, oh, I killed one set for Scotty, the success will come. And I was like, that's not true at all, you know? You can
we all
kill
start
9
out-
open mics a week. The
Yeah.
success, it won't come. You got to network, make connections.
Yeah, I think we all started out delusional like that. you know?
Yeah. And so it's like, yeah, just connecting now. Like, I think I'm meeting with bookers now more often and just getting credits to my name. Like, I was talking to Tony. He said, if you need to get booked, let him know like I can vouch for you or
Tony
something.
Sparks?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Because
awesome,
I met
man.
him through Zoom. He's known me for a while. And he's seen me like grow from like Zoom to like I killed at the
I'm
compound a couple
surprised you
weeks ago.
didn't do the compound earlier then, since you knew Tony.
I didn't know it existed for a while.
Okay,
Yeah, I
yeah.
found out recently and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a very cool place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went there. I killed when Tony was there, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll vouch for you." And I was like, "Dope." So now after this LA thing, I'm gonna start using that as a credit too. I'm gonna
Yeah.
start reaching out to other brokers, be like, "Hey, I performed at LA. I'm trying to get here."
You're
you know?
doing what Lonnie was talking about, actually just taking the initiative to reach out to these
Yeah,
bookers and
just-
producers. Say, hey,
yeah.
do you have anything?
Yeah, just let them know, like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I've done this, and
Okay,
just stuff like
let's
that.
end on that positive note because we're running well over an hour
All right, great.
at this point, and my intention was to keep these at 30 minutes, and I failed miserably with these first 4 episodes. What do you think? I mean, do people still want to listen at an hour? I think you. I mean, you obviously you'll share it within your circle. I'll share
Yeah,
it
I
within
mean, yeah,
my
probably.
circle.
I'll definitely.
Probably. You mean
No,
probably.
yeah,
you'll
no,
share
definitely,
it.
this is the-
You're
yeah.
definitely gonna share it.
Yeah, I'm 100% gonna share. I was like, I don't know who's that interested in my life to, look at
I don't
this.
care. Like my view is just keep putting out the content.
I think my
and the
cousin's
audience
gonna watch
comes.
this, so like, hi Farhan, just putting that out there. Other than that, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna show this to my parents.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, but
do they
other-
follow you on social media at all?
I blocked him,
Okay, yeah.
and I told him I
yeah.
deleted my Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something.
It's gonna have to come out in the open sooner or later.
No,
like
it'll,
you said,
it'll
once you
I
like,
definitely
reach that point.
like I've gone to a point where I was like, I can't keep hiding this. Like I told my parents I'm going to LA to visit a friend or something, but I'm like, this is a shit. Like why would they think I'm in LA for a day? It's a very shifty.
Yeah.
Like I've gone to a point where it's like I just need. I might tell them after I graduate. I think that's
Okay.
I think I got a semester left, and tell them because I'm planning to move to LA either sometime in 2022 or definitely in 2023.
I think that's a good move.
Yeah, because I think looking at the growth I've had now, I think because it's like 3 months, do like a year or two, and I think I
get
can
some more credits,
Yeah,
establish yourself as a paid
Yeah.
comic before moving down there.
Yeah, and even if I don't, like when my favorite comedian, just stylistically, he moved to LA at 20, never done comedy before, and he made it.
Who's this?
Gerard Carmichael.
Ah, wow, that's a name you don't get thrown around a lot as like being a favorite comedian.
Yeah, no, he's because I feel like just his perspective, like of like just everything, just because he's very apathetic to a lot of things,
yeah.
and in a world where you're supposed to care about everything, it's kind of refreshing to see
that's
that.
a great pull right there. That's a name that someone mentions and they really watch comedy.
Yeah,
If you hear Gerard Carmichael.
yeah,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Jason and like Mike said, or not Mike, Kyle, they were like, you give Gerard Carmichael vibes. And I was like very honored. I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
And I had a kind of a crisis when I was on shrooms. I was like, if they think I'm Gerard Carmichael, who's Newman, and it was a very,
Well, that's why you don't need a whole bag of mushrooms,
yeah.
folks.
Or I had a good time until I went to the rave and everything just started blasting. And I
Okay,
was
so
like,
Newman, how can people find out what's going on about you?
all right, my Instagram's at Crispy Newman, Crispy with a K, and then my name is spelled Numaan.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There's not two U's, folks.
No,
So what's real quick? Why Crispy Newman? What's that?
I just had that from high school. I like donuts a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking about changing it eventually. I don't know.
It's easy to remember.
It was very iconic in high school. People call me Crispy Newman. I was like, yeah, that's all I need. So.
That's cool. All right, folks, thanks for watching and listening. We'll see you next time. Hey, guys, so thanks for tuning into the podcast, and a big thanks again to the fine folks at Sonity for letting us record the podcast here and for hooking us up with their delicious boba milk tea drinks. My wife, Chris, and I review boba milk tea spots all over the Bay Area. Believe me when I say that Sonity is definitely one of the best boba milk tea shops around. Make sure to follow them on Instagram at SAN as in Nancy, and as in Nancy again, A19, that's sana.na19 on Instagram. And if you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, make sure to hit that follow/subscribe button and make sure to give us a 5-star rating to give us some algorithm love. Okay? Thanks for listening.